What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Solo Requiem, and I am back with another devlog. Now, I have been putting in work and crunching on this game, Omega Black, and I just want to say it is turning into one of my best projects that I've ever worked on in my 5 years of my game dev journey. A lot of us indie developers and a lot of game developers in general have a certain love for gaming, and I am no exception. Me personally, I play tons of different types of video games. I just love the way that different worlds and ideas come together and then come to life. Something special just happens. So, I don't know, anytime that I play a game, I'm in a different zone. And what I noticed recently is that I'm heavily inspired by Metroidvanias, Souls-likes, platformers, shooters, and just any game that has some sort of action and difficulty and learning curve to it. So I do want to create something similar. I've been into art since I was a kid, from music to dancing to drawing, and also I was fascinated with engineering as well. I also do sound engineering for my music, but don't go check it out. This is about game dev, not music. But I will use my music experience and my music equipment to enhance the quality of devlogs and even game development in general. So some soundtracks I'll create. I'll have some of my close friends create, as well as some assets that I will be using that I found interesting and just matches the vibe and the feel of the game. So being influenced as a game dev is going to happen. And I just love the way that Elden Ring keeps things simple yet complex at the same time. Also doesn't give you too much information on how to do things, yet you learn over time or through the community. So that's some type of similar approach that I may take with Omega Black. One thing Elden Ring's taught me is be consistent and also not give up. So the last few projects that I did that I've scrapped, that will not be Omega Black, okay? So we will lock in on this game, and this will be the first game that we put out. I will say getting my ass whooped by bosses in Elden Ring and finally beating them has allowed me to really gain that confidence to take on this big project. One thing that we will do is keep the scope small. So this will be one of the goals. This will be my first game, so it'll kind of be the smaller game that we can build off and probably make it something more grand in the future. But we do need a viable product. So we need a set of goals, some small goals that we can reach and get a nice demo out for play and play testing. That being said, let's get into the first goal that I have, which is level design in the first level. So let's get into it. First level, Dark Pine Forest. Alright, welcome to the dark and acidic forest of Dark Pine. This will be in the planet, more so the first playable area that players will explore. The first boss will be located in this area, and this is where you'll be able to get your first ability, which will be the double jump ability. So a couple of focuses we need to focus on is traversal, so being able to get over to Dark Pine and travel through there with a couple of platform challenges, but also no really needed abilities to kind of get there. Second focus would be enemies, traps, and just the way that the level feels when players are jumping through and around it. So I want it to feel foreign, I want it to feel vast, yet we're still keeping it small scope, so remember that, we got to keep that in mind. So I'll be creating tile sets that I'll use as travel points throughout the map to get you to bigger areas of the map, and also the boss levels. This will allow you to use your abilities that you gain and also the access to the other parts of the world. So first, when you go through and travel through the Dark Pine Forest, right now it looks pretty basic until of course I do some polishing, add all the background and also the extra details that I'll be adding to give it that more foreign alien forest vibe. But what you need to do is get through this forest. It'll be a couple of little enemies. Once you get through the forest, you'll go through the cave and enter into the bigger, grander scene of Dark Pine, which you'll then traverse through and get to the boss area. So that way, we're given some sort of vastness, but also keeping the scope small. So you know, in any 2D or Metroidvania, you need some very memorable creatures and some very cutesy creatures, yet also they can kill you in, a few hits. So what I I don't have the name for it. Here it is. There it is. Ugly or cute, whatever it may be. I'm gonna call this Poisonous Fluff Ball Flurb. Shit, I know the name sucks, but if you come up with a better name, drop it in the comments. And hey, we might use it. But that is the name for now, Flurb. And then we have another alien insect that will be in the dark pine. I don't know what we'll name this one either. Let's come up with some names. And until we do, his name will be Willie.
Your name isn't William. It's Willie.
Alright, let's talk a little bit more about Flurb. So, Flurb, he'll be just moving back and forth, cruising, through the dark pine forest, just doing his usual thing, and then, bang, 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 there's Omega Black, just, everything, as per usual. So, of course, in the dark pine forest, a lot of the alien creatures are going to look at Omega Black as well as the other patrollers as enemies for, invading their planet. But Flurb will be a simple enemy. He'll just move back and forth. If you land on him, you'll take damage. I might add a ability to Flurb to where if the player takes damage from Flurb, he also inflicts them with a little bit of poison damage as well. That also, if the player's resistance is high enough, and by the way, your resistance is based on your health. So if your health is higher to a certain point, you get a certain level of resistance. And based on that, I may have Flurb's poison affect players in that manner. And then also, we'll just keep Flurb fairly simple for now. In the future, we might see some jumping Flurbs. You never know. And then Willie. So let's get into Willie. Willie will be sort of like the flying diplomat of Dark Pine Forest. So these will be little flying bugs, and they'll have their own little ways. I might make some NPCs to give a little more background and lore on the bugs and insects and different alien creatures of Dark Pine Forest. But that's just a small part of their major planet. It's a bunch of different alien creatures on the planet. And so, with Willie, basically, you will be attacked. If you get near them, if you get too close, they will try to attack you. They'll follow you until you get out of their range and things like that. So they will move pretty similar to drones, but they may have a little different movesets. I may have them do a dash at you as well. So, hey, never know. Just be on the lookout for Willie. Willie will be in Dark Pine. Okay, no, back in all seriousness. So once you get through the Dark Pine Forest and you finally get closer to the boss, that is when I'll add little scenes of, Joe Razor, the first boss that players will encounter. And, you'll probably have this encounter with Joe Razor in a demo. And then that'll probably be as far as I, leave the demo. And then from there, expand from there. But yes, that is up to the point that we will get. That'll be the goals, okay? So now we need to get Joe Razor in the game fully. We need to get the boss level set up. So far I've set up the travel level to Dark Pine and also a little bit of the deeperness of Dark Pine. So yep, now I'll be working on the boss level and setting up Joe Razor. But so far, it is looking good. I'm proud of what we're doing. Getting this far so close. And once we set up the boss, we'll be able to do some polishing and probably have it start looking more like a game and a demo that's ready to be released. So that is something I'm excited to see. I'm definitely putting my heart and soul into this project. Thanks everybody who is joining and supporting, subscribing, liking, commenting, and sharing. It means the most to me. And then also, if you like 2D Metroidvanias or 2D shooters, you'll definitely like Omega Black. So follow, subscribe. Links will be in the bio. Thank you. Let's lock in. Let's get it. It's your boy, Solo Requiem. I'm out.